Hey, hey, hey. Hi, you guys. Happy Warrior Wednesdays. Come on into this room. Look, I can't even tell you how excited I am about today because if you are not inspired by today's guest, you ain't right. That's just what it is. You ain't right because Dr. Camille Hammond, when I tell you it's an honor, it is an honor to speak to this fertility warrior, advocate, CEO, and co-founder of the Cade Foundation that does so much amazing work for families that are trying to build their families, and her fertility story herself. Oh, I see y'all coming in the room. Look, it's lit. Dr. Camille Hammond from the Cade Foundation has some stuff to tell y'all that I am telling you will confirm just how real God is and that you are not alone in this journey of building families. Hey, everybody. Hey, Princess Warrior, all the way in the UK. I see you, phenomenally autistic. Welcome to Warrior Wednesdays. Yanni, thank you for being here. We Can Wear White is in the building. Hannah's Daughters is in the building. Hi, everybody. I'm so glad you're here. Black Women in Fertility. Hello, 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 hello. For those that are new, this is Warrior Wednesdays. We get down and we get real about Black women's health and fertility. And we tell all of our testimonies and we help everybody out. Ebony Ford is here from And She Shall Reign with her story with preemies. What's going on? I'm glad you're in the building. So come on in, share this, let everybody know, especially people that you know that are on the journey that aren't quite really talking about it yet, because some people really might need to see this. Whether they comment or not, they need to see and hear the testimony of my wonderful guest, Dr. Camille Hammond. Like I said to you, the CEO and the co-founder of the Cade Foundation with her husband, and who has a story of her own. She is an author. She is a CEO, honey. She is a doctor. She is all the things. And I'm going to just bring her on so we can get to it. All right. So let me see. Woo! Y'all get your pen and you get paper because this is going to be a lot of information. Mama Stu is in the building. I see you, Mama Stu. Hey, girl.
Hey there. Thank you so much for working with me this afternoon. I'm so happy to be here with you. I love what you do, your platform, and talking with women about preserving their fertility. I love and thank you for allowing me to be in your space. Kellee,
Oh,
wonderful.
it is an honor. It is an honor to speak to you. And as you guys can see, Dr. Camille is in her car, honey, but that's how dedicated she is to getting this story out and talking about Cade Foundation. And I dropped my AirPods in the washing machine, y'all. So hopefully you can hear me. You can hear me, right? Okay.
I hear you.
Well, I want to get right to it because I know that we're on a little bit of a time, but everybody has to get this information. But what we do here at Warriors is we start from the very beginning. So one of the things I want to start with you, Dr. Camille Hammond, at the cadefoundation.org, correct?
cadefoundation.org. Absolutely.
All right, I need y'all to follow. I need y'all to go right now. But I want to hear from you. When you were 18 years old, you were diagnosed with endometriosis. Can you give us just a little bit of a brief story of how that actually came about? What were the symptoms? 18 years old, what happened?
So I was 18, and actually it was my college freshman orientation weekend. I went to University of Richmond, and I just started having really heavy bleeding, and I had always been a heavy bleeder, but it was just more than I had experienced before. And so I was taken to the hospital, and they did surgery on me to see what was going on. I was having extreme kind of belly pain, and the doctor initially came out to tell my mom that the specimens that they had taken needed to be sent off to be looked at under a microscope, but he thought that it looked like cancer. And of course, yeah, that was just so ugly.
At 18 years old. So they're doing an exploratory surgery here to find out why your menstrual cycle, why the bleeding was so excessive. And the reason I just wanted to pause to say that is because there are, first of all, amen to you and your mom, because there are so many mothers and aunties and grandmothers that we normalize bad periods.
Absolutely.
And so what we need to do is to be able to let women know that your period is a vital sign. And if you are having a lot of pain, if you are having a lot of bleeding, because sometimes we say, oh, that's just her bad period. No, it's not. And so you guys went to the hospital. They're doing exploratory surgery. And so they took some of the tissue there, correct?
Exactly. So just backing up 2 steps for anybody who doesn't know what endometriosis is, it is a medical condition where the tissue that normally lines the ends, if you look at your uterus almost as a chalice, and the on the inside where the skin is, where this skin is, that bleeds out every month, right? Through the cervix, it comes out, and that's what a menstrual cycle is. Well, this tissue, instead of being on the inside of the uterus where it's supposed to be, it's out here, you know, back here. These are the ovaries that are kind of floating out there. It's on the outside of those. It's on the rectum, like on the inside of your body. So it's growing. It's normal tissue, but it's in the wrong place. And the way the body looks at anything that's growing in the wrong place is, this is invader. You don't belong here. And so it forms a wall around it. Now, we call the wall scar tissue, or adhesions, but the wall kind of forms a barrier between that tissue and the other normal tissue. I mean, the other tissue that's where it's supposed to be. And if it were just around that, that would be fine because it wouldn't impact things. But when the body forms that wall, often it connects things that are not normally supposed to be connected. So if this is the uterus and these are the ovaries kind of floating out here on the outside of the uterus, and make the ovaries kind of stick down to the side of the uterus, right? It can cause the uterus to kind of stick to the wall of the rectum, and which is why sometimes people have pain with defecation.
I didn't know that part.
They have pain, or they may have pain with intercourse.
Okay, can you pause right there? I want everybody to get their pencil and get their pen. This is such vital information here, because, and I know for certain because I have friends that have said to me, oh girl, he's just too big. Yeah, I couldn't stay with him because he's just too this and that, while they're having intercourse, and they don't know that that is an indication that there may be an underlying condition going on with them. Intercourse is not supposed to be painful. It is not about somebody is too large, or I just was in the wrong position. You guys, this is like a knock. This is a knock at your fertile door telling you there is an issue. So I am so glad that you brought that up. So let's back up a little bit. So you said it can make it go closer to the rectum, painful intercourse. What else?
So when they open you up, because you can't diagnose endometriosis definitively without actually going in there and finding that normal tissue in the wrong place. Okay. But it can grow in the lining of the uterus. So if this is your uterus, it's like growing inside of there, which can make it hard to get pregnant because, you have an embryo that's trying to implant. Where's it going to, it can't make roots. If you think about little plants, they can't make roots in there. So, but anyway, when they open you up, it looks like blood. So it looks like a whole bunch of chocolate in your belly because these endometrial implants bleed just like the normal endometrial tissue bleeds, and you have periods. That tissue that's in the wrong place is bleeding, but the blood doesn't have any place to go. It can't exit the body. So it just kind of stays there, right?
Wow. Building up.
And you can get little things, they call them chocolate cysts. It looks like just chocolate implanted, but it's like blood clots. I mean, needless to say, kind of getting back to my story, the doctor that did the exploratory surgery was not, for whatever reason, unfamiliar with endometriosis, and he thought it looked like maybe cancer, because cancer just, it looks like abnormal pathology.
Wow. So he was unfamiliar with endometriosis and thought it could possibly be cancer.
Right.
And he comes out and says that to y'all. And
Yes.
And thankfully it was not.
Of course it was not. And that's another thing. You need to be your own best advocate, because you can't assume that every doctor has the same level of knowledge, skill, exposure, experience. Just because they're a physician doesn't mean they're all the same. So if something doesn't feel right with the provider you're working with, you are empowered to ask questions and to switch.
Second opinions, third opinions, fourth opinions. We say all of that here because sometimes, and one of the points that we really like to make, well, first of all, you just gave us so much information just in that little like 3-minute segment. I need y'all to give Dr. Camille some flowers, some hand claps, all the things, because there's a lot of people that don't even know how you diagnose endometriosis, that don't even, but just by having the seed planted in their head, whether it's them or somebody they know, it can be like, hey, this is how they do this. So give her some flowers, give her some hand claps and all the things. And we always say here that there's nothing wrong with second opinions, third opinions, as well as, and tell me what you think of this, Dr. Camille, as well as if you yourself don't, if you're just the kind of person that doesn't really know how to voice your advocacy, to bring somebody with you. You know, I got a cousin named Hope, and Hope does not shut her mouth when it comes to figuring out what's going on with this doctor, with this restaurant. Bring somebody with you that can write down a journal of questions of all the things that need to be asked, that can advocate on your behalf. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely, absolutely. Bring your advocate with you, and also while you are kind of at home and just talking informally with your friends and families, and you all talk about things, write them down. Because how many times have you gone to the doctor, not asked questions, and then left and thought, I forgot. I meant to ask about that. So keep a little journal or just a little sheet of paper on the refrigerator and write those things down so that you can bring them and present them, or have your advocate present them when you go see your provider.
Absolutely. And to your point with talking with the family, there are so many times, and I didn't do it, and sometimes moms or aunties don't do it, that we don't tell the women in our family that are younger than us the experiences that we've had, whether that's a hysterectomy, or I had fibroids, or I had endometriosis, I had trouble getting pregnant. We still are quiet about those things for the young ones that really need to be aware of the signs to look out for. So suffering in silence, y'all, no more. It got to stop, whether within the family or within our community. So now I want to take your story to med school.
Yes.
So you have endometriosis. Well, let me go back. You have endometriosis. And did they tell you it was going to be a problem getting pregnant when the time came?
Yes, I got hooked up with a doctor who was very familiar with endometriosis, and I had several procedures that were focused on kind of getting me ready, so that when I kind of decided I wanted to get pregnant, that I would be able to do that. So they removed all the scar tissue several times.
Okay.
Before I got married, and but I had stage 4 endometriosis, so I had the most severe stage at 18 years old. Okay.
So can you explain that, because endometriosis is not curable, correct?
Well, it's not curable. Sorry. Oof.
That's okay. That little fly wants the information too. That's all.
He does. So, all right. As long as you have ovaries that can trigger the endometrial cells in your uterus to, to basically grow and bleed and do the things that normal endometrial cells do. It's doing that same thing to the endometrial implants in the other places. Or adenomyosis is when, again, the endometrial cells are in the lining of the uterus and the uterine wall. But as long as you have ovaries that are sending out those chemical hormone signatures telling your body what to do, it's going to continue to do that. So I guess when you take your ovaries out, that's when it will stop bleeding. But that's the only time that happens.
Okay. So you were diagnosed with stage 4. Yes. And you said that can you explain a little bit about what the stage 4 is, and then a little bit about the procedures that were done, multiple procedures to kind of remove some of the tissues and the bleeding that were in the wrong places.
Yeah, certainly. So stage 4 is the most severe stage. So I had endometrial implants all over my belly, on the inside of my belly, throughout. Okay.
Mhm.
I had the little chocolate cysts, which, we talked about. And my symptoms were also severe. So every month I had debilitating pain where I could hardly get up out the bed. I had nausea and vomiting every single month. I mean, I clearly remember standing outside of my high school, waiting for somebody to pick me up almost every month. If my period started when I was at school, I would not be able to stay. It was terrible. It was terrible. And so, yeah, the exploratory surgeries that I had were really focused on looking at the abnormal tissue, trying to remove it, and also trying to remove the scar tissue that was causing my normal anatomy to kind of look abnormal, was causing my ovaries to kind of stick to the sides of my uterus and to clamp down to the back of my rectum. So when I ultimately, years later, ended up having a hysterectomy and an oophorectomy, which is, oophorectomy is when they take out your ovaries, and a hysterectomy is when they take out your uterus.
Mhm.
I had what they call a frozen pelvis. Everything was just completely scarred down and stuck together. So sorry, let me roll this window up. It was an
That's
8-hour procedure,
wow.
because they didn't want to just cut me in a way where they would have had to cut my the little tubes that carry urine from the bladder
Yeah.
to your urethra. They would have had to cut that. They would have had to cut bowel. And so I'm grateful that the doctor took their time and they operated on me for 8 hours to remove the things that didn't need to be there, and leave the things that I would need for the rest of my life.
Woo!
I had
And
that when I was 30 years old.
when you were 30 years old, you had that surgery. Wow. Wow. So that was a journey from 18 to 30. Now I want to go in between here. Um, because when you were in med school, you
Yeah,
met a man
I did.
who is your now husband, who's
Absolutely.
in surgery right now because he a surgeon, y'all. So you met. So tell us a little bit about that courtship and knowing that you want to become a mom, but at this point, endometriosis is there, and the complications that go along with that.
Yeah, so I met my husband the first week of medical school. He was at Hopkins, I was at Maryland. He had a party at his house, and I know, listen, so we met at a house party at his house, and it was a fairy tale romance. 3 years later, we got married. He knew I had endometriosis, so our plan was really to start trying to get pregnant immediately, and that didn't work.
Mhm.
So about a year later, you're supposed to wait 12 months. So the definition of infertility is not getting pregnant after 12 months of unprotected sex. So we waited the 12 months, and then we started seeing a fertility doctor. And that's when I started having fertility treatment. I ultimately had 6 rounds of IVF, in vitro fertilization, never got pregnant.
Mhm.
And after that last round, we were already out of money because we were students. We didn't have any money, but we had insurance because I happen to live in a state that has a mandate. I believe Maryland might have been the first state that had a mandate where insurers are required to pay for some of the diagnosis and treatment. And if you are listening to this, and you're thinking about how am I going to pay for this, you need to inquire with your HR department. There are 19 states that have mandates where they
Mhm.
don't have a choice. They have to pay for some of the workup, some or all of the workup, and treatment. I think mine was up to $100,000 of IVF, which was required.
Wow.
They made
Wow.
absolutely.
I want to, all of these points, and I hope that you guys are writing this down. Like she said, 19 states that are mandated and all of this stuff. I want to back up a little bit because I want to help somebody out that may have an underlying condition, may be meeting a partner and is fearful of how to let them know what might be going on, that there might be complications down the line should they want to have children. Because the reality is you met your husband in med school, so he's a doctor. He knows all about these things and the risks and what it really means. But from an emotional standpoint, whether you're a doctor or not, you're a woman, you're a person. This is your body. And sometimes when our body doesn't do what we want or what we believe it should do, we tend to feel like a failure in that space. So can you just offer just some truth to or some advice about the telling of someone that you're falling in love with that, you know what, I got a little bit of an issue, this might be a little bit of problem should those people want to conceive? How was that journey for you?
So I think I might have told him on our second date. Yeah, because I don't want to fall in love with you if you can't love me kind of wholly, like all of what comes with me. And so I told him very early so that he could decide if he wanted to continue to pursue a relationship with me. Um, and I also told my kids that my mother was my my gestational carrier. So my kids knew that my mother actually carried them when they were maybe two. I mean, before they could speak, they knew Granny carried you.
But this, and when we get to that part of the story, y'all, if my tears come flying down, because let me tell you, because what your mom did, when we get to the part of the story. But I will say that I amen what you just said in terms of telling on the first or the second date. And so for anybody watching or that might be wondering how to deal with whether it's age, whether it's endometriosis, PCOS, or anything like that, I chose to do the same thing. I'm someone that preserved my fertility and froze my eggs. I'm of an older age before I will be a mother. And I chose to do the same thing with first or second dates. I let that person know I want to be a mom. This
That's
is
right.
my age. I froze my eggs. My journey will most likely look different. So that, like you said, they can decide, because what we do is we shame ourselves and we fall all the way in love before we tell our truth.
That's right.
And your truth is powerful and it doesn't need to be hidden, because the right person, just like Dr. Hammond, your husband, the right person is going to sign right on up for that journey with you. So I just wanted to kind of offer that to people that are out there. But so IVF, six rounds. What was the toll on you physically, emotionally, your marriage, especially because physically not getting pregnant all those times. So each time you try is another decision, right? Between you, your husband, your spirit. So what was the toll that took on you? Uh-oh, you're a little frozen. Can you see me? Can you see me? Oh, there you are. You were a little frozen. I don't want to stop it because I want to make sure we can keep everything. Can you see me? Okay, I need y'all in the comment section. If you can hear me and see me and Dr. Camille is frozen, I need you to let me know. Oh, wait a minute. You know what, Dr. Camille? Dr. Camille, you're frozen. I think you're going to have to exit out and come back in. I'm going to need you to exit out and come back in so I can save the whole live. I don't know if you can hear me. I need you guys in the comments to tell Dr. Camille to exit out, and I'm going to bring her back in because I don't want to lose it. Thank y'all for helping me out here. Okay, cool. She's left. So she's going to come back. I hope your pens are still full of ink because isn't she amazing? I'm telling you, she will tell all the truth. So just give us a second so that Dr. Camille can come back in, tell us all about the IVF. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find her. Not yet. Not yet. Okay, hold on a second. All right, she exited out. Y'all are so good. Let me see if I can send her. She is so amazing, Black Women in Fertility. Let me see if I can find her. I'm going to send her a request to see if she can come back in. So yes, all the points. There she is. Perfect.
Sorry about that.
Okay, perfect. I didn't want to listen. I don't want to lose this good information. I don't want to lose no parts of this live. So I said, listen, I'm not going to exit out. I'd rather you go and come back. So if it happens again, that's the plan.
Yes.
But the last thing that I asked, and I didn't hear anything, I didn't hear the answer yet. First of all, welcome back, is about the toll that it took on you emotionally, physically, with your partnership, with 6 rounds of IVF. Can you just give us a view of that?
It was devastating. I was on medications all the time, so I was extra hormonal. Everything was either 0 or
Okay, so you're frozen again. We can't hear you. Let me see. Okay, Dr. Camille, you guys tell her in the comment section. I'm going to try to. I'm sorry, y'all. We're going to get it together. The devil is trying it because we got good news to share with you. Um, we're going to try this one more time. We're going to see if she can exit and enter again. Somebody said, Kay Welly said, Instagram is hating. I know the devil be trying it. I mean, he is trying it. But whether, I don't know, Dr. Camille, if you can hear me, if you can check your signal or plug into some power in the car. I'm not too sure what it is. The devil is a liar, Princess Warrior, because she has the story of all stories, and she has a foundation that offers grants up to $10,000 to help people that are on the journey. So we need to hear all about her. That's Regina Townsend said he better quit playing. You ain't lying. He better quit playing. Let me see if we can get her back on here so that her story can all the way be told. Let me see. Let's see. I'm going to send a request. Yes, Ebony Ford, the information will go out. For those that have not followed And She Shall Reign, please do. Ebony Ford was a guest on Warrior Wednesdays. She had a preemie little beautiful baby Rain. I think she was only 1 pound and a couple ounces when she was brought into this beautiful world by her mama. Ebony Ford is at And She Shall Reign. Hear all about her story. Let me try one more time, because we will not, as warriors, take this devil seriously. Let's see. I'm waiting. I see that she's online. I believe she's online. Do y'all hear my stomach growling? That's just a sidebar. That says she's unable to join. Hold on. Okay. Dr. Camille, if you see me, come in and send the request. Because I tried to send you two, and it wouldn't happen. Regina, did you get my last message? Okay, she's clapping, so she's here. Okay, I see you. Somebody said off topic, when is All American coming back on? Thank you for watching All American. Soon. That's what I can tell you, soon. Let me see if I can find her. Let's try it one more time. Somebody said the princess word said I thought the stomach was me. No, Rihanna, it is me. I am hungry. There you go. Oh no, it is a signal problem. Because I can't hear you. It is a whole signal problem. Hi, South Africa. Oh no, oh no. Okay, this is what I think we should do. I think that we should wait for Dr. Camille to maybe get home or in a better place, because we're just unable. Get thee behind me, Satan. Mama Stu says move the car. I think she's waiting to pick up her boys. Dr. Camille, I don't know if it's because you're not near Wi-Fi, but listen, Regina, I need you. Hold on a second. I see that you text me. Let me see something. Regina, are you at work? Let me see something. Can you hear me? Okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna reschedule it. It's not, the devil's trying it, but we're gonna be on God's time. What I don't want, hold on here. Yes, she says she moved 3 times, y'all. So that ain't nobody but the devil. Somebody said we can have it. You guys. Okay, Regina Townsend from the Broken Brown Egg. See how the devil is?
I am absolutely at work, but I was like, we're not going to play with him today.
We're not going to do it. Okay, because this is what's going to happen. Dr. Camille, I know you are still watching. I know you are still listening, and you're in a space with bad reception. We are going to hold down the fort for you. We can't tell your story the way that you can, but what we do have is Regina Townsend, who knows a lot about the Cade Foundation, who has worked with Dr. Camille. First of all, what we're going to do, Dr. Camille, is we are going to hold down this space because this is God's house, okay? The devil is trying it. And we're going to let you get to wherever you need to get. And when y'all see me go live later today, it will be with Dr. Camille. But while I have you to fill in the gap, if y'all would please give a bunch of eggs for Regina Townsend, Dr. Camille, we got your back. Put some eggs in here. Hi, baby.
We're not going to play today. We're not doing this.
We are not fit to play. We are not fit to play because you know her story.
Be quick. Quick.
Quick, right? Quick. And I was like, Regina might be at work, but I know if she could come, if you could just come and tell us a little bit about, because she's going to talk about the Cade Foundation when we get her on again, but a little bit about your experience with the Cade Foundation.
Absolutely, because I am a Cade family. We are a Cade family in my house. Camille is everything. I met Dr. Hammond in 2010, right after I started the Broken Brown Egg, and we both were invited to Resolve, the National Infertility Organization. We were invited to their headquarters to talk about how could they do more to reach the Black community. And the minute that Camille sat down, I was just in awe of hearing what she was doing as an organization, and then also in hearing her story, which she can, of course, tell absolutely better than I ever could. But hearing how after she and her husband had struggled and gone through IVF and had those 6 rounds and that endometriosis, when they were ready to give up and ready to say, you know, maybe this isn't in the cards for us, Camille's mom stepped in to be their gestational carrier, and that this idea was brought to Camille and Jason from her parents. It wasn't like they were like, who in our family could we get that's willing to? No, this was the love of parents saying, I see my children hurting and I want to bless them, and we're not going to let them quit. And that beauty has come through that entire family, because not only did her mom carry those babies, because there were 3 of them.
I mean, can we, because this is what you guys need to know. And like we said, Dr. Camille will say this far better than us. And this is why I asked Regina, like, if you're at work, go to a corner somewhere, because first of all, isn't she just beautiful and amazing and just eloquent and just can come online and just say the thing? Like, she's just all the things. That's number one. So follow Broken Brown Egg, please, and go to her website, The Broken Brown Egg, buy her merch, do all the things. But so what Regina just said is that her mother, and they insisted, basically, they stayed on them and said, you know, because her mom was 55 years old when she carried triplets. So even in planting those embryos, you're not really thinking that all of them are going to take. But her mother was postmenopausal, God's miracle. They all took, grew inside, and her mother delivered her 3 now teenage boys.
Yes. Two boys, 1 girl.
2 boys. Oh, 2 boys, 1 girl. Sorry, 2 boys and 1 girl. And when I tell you that my mom and I had a problem just giving me needles. Mama, still, I didn't call you out, girl. I'm not calling you out. Because if she could carry my baby, she would. And this is, and what's so beautiful about that is that knowing that her mom knew at 18 that she had endometriosis and had this journey, it's almost like God had prepared her all of those years to step in the gap, to do the thing. So that's why we really want Camille to tell this story. But after she had her 3 children, she started the Cade Foundation with her husband, giving away grants.
The Cade Foundation is the Tanina Q. Cade Foundation. It's named for Dr. Hammond's mother, and who is beautiful. If you have a chance to go over to the Cade Foundation website and just look at that family, her mother is absolutely stunning. With a heart to match. And so they named the organization for her mother, for her selfless sacrifice of carrying her own grandchildren. But also what I also thought was amazing was that these 2 doctors realized that for them to have a considerable amount of support from family, and also, you know, the job that everybody tells you to grow up and be a doctor, be a lawyer so you have some money, they struggled financially to deal with infertility. And for them to then say, you know what, if we struggle, imagine what other people are dealing with. And then said, let's start an organization that's going to support people. And they wanted it to be a one-time thing. They were going to just do 1 donation, help somebody, pay it forward kind of thing. And it has grown to such an extent where this organization has given thousands of dollars to people every year. And they've partnered with clinics. I believe they work with Shady Grove Fertility. Like, they have just done so much work in this space. And for Camille to have been doing this for so long, I'm just so happy that you were able to connect with her. And that's why I say the devil is a lie, because she's been in this space since 2010.
Yeah.
And people need to know that she is there and that at the forefront of providing funding for couples and individuals who are seeking fertility treatment. She's a Black woman.
Okay.
Who said
and we need to say that because we are not on the broader spectrum of the conversation of infertility. She's here and she's commenting and helping us out here. She says 134 families have been funded by the Cade Foundation, 94 babies. Okay. And then she says also RSC of San Francisco Bay. So she is doing the thing. I don't know if you can come back on, Dr. Camille. You put the thumbs up or the thumbs down in terms of your service. But Regina, because you are one of the Cade families, can you tell us a little bit about the application process? If you wanted to apply for a Cade grant to take advantage of all of these wonderful things that Dr. Camille is doing, can you tell us a little bit about that process?
Yeah, and I also want to say first, just speaking more about the spirit that Camille had.
Yes.
She knew, obviously, because we had met, she knew what I was doing with the Broken Brown Egg. She knew we had worked together to do different advocacy things. And in 2014, I believe, 2014 or 2015, she reached out to me and said, I want to know why you haven't applied for a grant.
Ooh.
And I said, well, I just feel like other people need it and da-da-da-da-da. And she was like, you have put too much in helping everybody else for you not to let somebody help you.
Pause,
and she sent me the grant.
Because sometimes it's hard for us to receive, right? Sometimes the givers, it's hard for us to receive because for those that don't know, Regina with the Broken Brown Egg, while she was going through her own personal infertility journey with her husband, she started the Broken Brown Egg in the midst of the pain, in the midst of the journey. And I believe, and I think Dr. Camille would echo this as well, is that because it's true for me, serving in this space, giving voice and resources in this space is an act of healing for ourselves while we're in it. And so after experiencing all that she experienced and her mom giving birth to her children, feeling that purpose-led, right, to continue the work, just like you did and just like Warriors is doing, is a great way to heal in the process of things. Don't you agree?
It's cathartic. It's cathartic. And it also is just reminding you that you're not alone. You're not the only person experiencing this, and that you have power, that there's power in your story. There's power in your testimony. There's power in your voice. It means so much. And so when she reached out to me, because the other thing is infertility, when you're in the advocacy space, but just in general, infertility can start to be a part of your identity.
Yes.
And you start to this is just who I am, and this is what I do, and this is what we're always going to be doing. And you forget that you're still in it for you, that you have the right to achieve what your dream may be. Your job is not just to do this for everybody else. You got in it to do for people, but you're people.
Get out of my business, Regina. Get all the way out of, you know what, Regina?
You're people.
Get out of my business. And tell me about the application process, because you're gonna get me crying, because this is what she does, y'all. This is what Regina Townsend does.
It starts to become our identity. It starts to be how we push, and she recognized that in me, and she sent me the application, and I struggled because I was like, I don't know where to start, but it was so straightforward. All that the Cade Foundation really asks is that you have a medical diagnosis of infertility. They look at your income and things like that in the application so that they can see, because there are sometimes cases where we just haven't budgeted. There are some ways that we can just get some help to, fully flesh out a way for us to have the money. Sometimes we think it's out of reach and we don't even fully know yet, because again, the way that it's marketed, we assume it's rich white women. And so we automatically feel like, oh, that's out of touch for me. That's out of reach for me. And so that is sometimes something that people need. There's also situations where the Cade Foundation can identify, you know, you live in a mandated state. Did you know that? I've also heard Camille tell people, you know, have you asked your HR person?
Right.
Because before we go to, I need this grant, what can we do to empower you? And I think that that was one of the things that I was afraid of, was that filling out this grant was going to be so much putting all my business out there and this and the other, but it's really, they're trying to help and support families however. And so it was a very straightforward process. And what else is beautiful about the Cade grant is once you're a part of that family, you're a part of that family. Those the people who there's a Facebook group for Cade families. They you know, outside of COVID, there are meetups, there are get-togethers. Cade families come to the gala every year where we award the next recipients. And it has been such a beautiful way for people to also get support while they're dealing with fertility issues, because what the Cade Foundation will do is they'll partner a new Cade family with an older Cade family so that they can walk them through this process, because it is, people assume that once you are moving forward, everything's fine, but they don't think about the mental aspect of it's still terrifying. It's still absolutely terrifying. And so having someone else who's experienced it, who can kind of tell you, you're normal, that makes sense to me, I've been there. And then for those babies to grow up, you know, they're almost like cousins, the way that Cade family treats them. And so it has been a beautiful relationship for me to watch the Cade Foundation grow and just watch what Camille does, because she has a humble spirit about her while she's in the background serving hundreds of people and making sure that their dreams come true, because she recognized that somebody helped her achieve hers. And so I was not going to let the devil take my sister's shine today. At all.
And that is at all. And that is why, I mean, I adore you for every reason under the sun. But I just want to thank you, because when the devil was trying it, I was like, well, wait a minute. I know someone that is close to Camille, that is a Cade family member, and that knows how to speak truth to power in these moments. So I just want to say, Regina, that was beautiful. I love you. I honor you. I just want to kiss you through the iPhone, because you always show up, and thank you for not letting the devil take away Camille's shine today.
He was not going to succeed today. Not on today.
Not today. I want you guys to follow Regina Townsend at the Broken Brown Egg and cadefoundation.org. I'm going to let you go, Miss Regina Townsend, and I'm going to see if Camille is here. If she's still here, we'll see if I can get her back. If not, we will come back on live either at a scheduled time, or we'll just pop back up and you'll see us up on the thing. But thank you for, you know what? And it's really interesting, because the same way her mother was a surrogate in the moment that she needed her mama, the moment when the devil was messing with the Wi-Fi, we have another surrogate here. So this is a place where, Dr. Camille, you will never be left without the support that you need.
Absolutely not. Kellee, I love you. You know that. Mama Stu, I see you in these comments. Thank you for getting our girl together the other day, because you preached that thing unto her and to me.
Oh, the Mother's Day post, right?
We got you all the way together, and I appreciate it.
Let me tell you, that is actually an archive post of a live I did called Happy Almost Mother's Day. I didn't do it this year, but I did it before. And what my mom said, for those that didn't see, you can see it on the page. She says, thank you, Regina. And is what she said through tears was that she didn't believe. She said, I don't believe. I don't reckon. I know. Not that God is going to bless you with a child, but God is going to bless a child with you.
With you. And what I love that she said, and then I'm going to go because I am at work. But what she said that I loved was, there's too much love in you. There's too much for it to not be spread out. And I was like, tell her again.
Child, see, tell her again. And I watch it, and I post it, and I look at it every Mother's Day or every day that I feel like it's not going to happen, I have to remember what my mom said. I have to remember what Camille's mom did. I have to remember a mom like you that is standing in the gap for Camille. These are the women that remind me that, yes, it will happen. Yes, it
It
will.
will. It will. There's no choice.
No
All
choice.
right.
I love you.
Love you.
Okay, tell everybody at work we
Bye.
said hi and thank you. All right, baby. Okay, that is Regina Townsend of the Broken Brown Egg. I need you to follow her. When I tell you the spirit of surrogacy is all over this live. Nichelle Polston is here from her Adorable and Resolve board member. I'm going to look to see if Dr. Camille is here. If not, let me see one more time if we can get her back to see if we can finish up now, or if not, we will finish up later. But I'm so thankful to Regina Townsend for stepping in to give you guys a little bit more information that we all want you to have. So let's see if it can get Dr. Camille. And if not, we will come back on a little later today. We will finish this up. So, okay, I don't think, let me see, one more try. Isn't that great though? See, they be getting me crying now. If y'all have not seen Regina Townsend's episode, I need you to go to www.warrior-wednesdays.com. That's warrior-wednesdays.com. Click on episodes. Subscribe to Warrior Wednesdays, by the way. Click on episodes and look for Regina Townsend and all the episodes. We've done over 20 episodes here at Warrior Wednesdays with amazing women. Okay, so Cade Foundation, she's unable to join. So wherever she is with her Wi-Fi, unfortunately, it's not working. But what we will do is I will save this. Of course, y'all know how I roll. And I will check back to see when we can finish up this conversation, because I know that there is more to say and more to hear. So I hope you got something out of today so far, and to be continued. Thank you guys for coming in. Talk to you soon. Okay, bye.